Hello viewers, welcome back to another interesting edition of the Family Moment Show, keeping us together. Your favorite family moment shows where we talk about so many life-threatening issues and how we can be better families and better society. As usual, we'll be looking at handling marital pressure, and we have fantastic and wonderful guests in the studio that will be doing justice with me on that. I am your faculty member, Stella Erianyetoy. Don't go away. After this break, we'll meet our guests and what we have on today's show. Audio Jungle. Welcome back, viewers. From that short break, is still your family moment show, keeping us together. And today we are looking at handling marital pressure. Like I said earlier, we have wonderful guests in the studio that will be doing justice to that. We have today with us Mrs. Abimbola Adeleye. This is a seasoned administrator, human capital resource person, an educationist, an IT manager, and all of that. Very, very endowed and full of knowledge to do justice to this topic today. Good to have you in the studio, ma'am.
I'm glad to be here. Thank you for having me.
And we have Mr. Femi Durojaye. Needs little introduction. The face has done all the introduction. It's one of the regular faces you see on our screen every now and then. He's an entrepreneur, a father of 4, happily married and doing well. He's on the show today with us. I will be looking at handling marital pressure on the Family Moment Show. Handling marital pressure. When we talk about marital pressure, what do we actually mean by marital pressure? I'll start with you, ma'am.
Marital pressure is a nice name for the crises that come into the home. As soon as
Crises that come into the home.
you start
The
your
name we
marriage.
give them.
Yes, so we now realize, wow, each and every season is bringing one form of challenge or the other. You can call it marital challenges, you can call it marital crisis, you can call it marital pressures. They are all things that come out of different seasons that you find yourself in your home. The season starts before the marriage, and then they start aggravating as the marriage goes on stage by stage. Marital pressures are compulsory to happen in every home. They're a natural thing because even as an individual, you have your own personal pressures that you overcome as an individual. So definitely when you go into marriage, you expect that system to have its own pressures along the line. So handling them is something that you must learn as a married person once you know you want to go into the institution of marriage. And there are so many ways to manage your marital pressures in marriage.
Okay, we'll come there. Then, Uncle Femi, when we talk about marital pressures, what comes to your mind? Marital pressure. What are those marital pressures? Like Bimbo just said, there are the things, the name we give all those things that happen. What are those things that actually happen from your own experience?
You see, some of these things that happen in marriages that cause friction, and some of them, if not handled well, may eventually break the marriage. They actually start before the marriage.
Mm-hmm.
You
so
see,
they are
you see signs
before the marriage.
Yes, you see signs during courtship. But you say, no, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. When you get married, it will be writ large.
Thank you.
Right? Because everybody's guard is down.
Everybody's relaxed now.
Yes, so the devil in them,
more.
their shortcomings, their flaws, right? That you overlooked. That it did not matter then. It will now matter now.
Now.
You know, somebody once said, a cleric once said, he said, the greatest gift that you can give your children is to marry a good woman.
To marry a good woman.
Because if you marry the wrong person with their peculiar flaws, I tell you, since your children learn on a lapse, what you don't want them to learn, they will learn, and you'll be crying as a man.
And you'll be helpless.
You'll be helpless. There is nothing you can do. So, as I said, marital pressures, they actually start in little ways before the couple say, I do. Yeah. Some of them, as I said, may lead to permanent breakup of the marriage, or people just live in marital hell. And they say, look, let me just continue. Let me just keep on. And then you see the man is never at home. He prefers to stay till 10 p.m. in the office. He's not doing anything. The home has become like a war zone. Bottles are not being thrown, stones are not being thrown, but the tension in that home is serious.
What are those things that will qualify to say are pressure in the marriage? I want us to name them. What are those things we qualify to say? A lot of things happen altogether. What are those things that we can call marital pressure? Is it lack of money?
Thank you. They are financial pressures. Let me put it this way. Each marriage has seasons. So there are seasons of financial pressures, seasons of emotional pressures, seasons of childhood
Childbearing pressure.
childhood remembrance pressures. This is how it was done when I was a child. Those pressures have to happen in the marriage over the time. Then we have the children pressures coming into the system. That is another one. Then you have the career pressures. That's very common in the
present society.
In the present society we found ourselves. You find out that careers affect us. So many things happen. Finances, we have, I've mentioned emotional, I've mentioned sexual pressures. The expectations of both parties are just there. There are pressures in home pressures, natural home pressures. You have pressures from the in-laws. We have pressures from your friends. You have pressures from your...
Even the society, the expectation.
The expectation of the society for you as an individual is a pressure. So the pressures are just everywhere.
Okay, now you know these are supposed to be normal.
Yes.
Of course, you are going into marriage. You're expected to have children.
Thank you.
You're expected to have children. I said it's an expected. No, I said you're expected to have children. Of course, you went to somebody's house to take his daughter. You're expected to take care of her. So you should have money. It's not a wrong expectation, isn't it? Here, and you are taking somebody's son away from his family. There should be reaction, which is expected. Now, in the society, you occupy a space. Whether you like it or not, you are a figure. Everybody, that is Uncle Femi. I know that face. That's Auntie Bimbo. There is an expectation from the society, from you. All of these things are not wrong, are they?
They are not wrong.
So when and how does it not become a pressure?
Okay, for example, let us assume you marry your dream woman.
Most of the time.
Yeah, let us assume. Because people marry for different reasons.
Yes.
That they ought not to marry.
Thank you.
Let us assume you marry your dream girl. And then the man lost children. And 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, the woman cannot get pregnant.
The expectation has
Wahala
to pressure.
has started. Because you see, the problem is not just between you and your wife anymore. Because when two people marry in an African setting, it's not those two people that marry, it's both families that marry. You understand? Yeah. So people will start asking questions. Even when you are involved, you are not really bothered.
Then expectation has become pressure.
Exactly. That even for you, actually, you're beginning to wonder what is
actually happening.
You understand? So maybe you go for tests and they find out that the guy is sterile. That marriage is in trouble.
The pressure has started moving height to height.
The pressure, if it were at 1, it has gone to 1,000. Because the guy cannot produce children. A woman wants children. Where will the marriage go? You see, there are some stabilizing factors in marriages.
Stabilizing factors.
Yes. So that when you decide to marry, right? What are your anchors? What are the things that first personally holding you up as a person? If, for example, you're a faith person, right? You believe in God. You understand? God is the ultimate for you. And you marry a woman that has the same mindset. If that pressure comes in marriage, the Yorubas will say, after you have done all the tests, and then the man is found to be sterile, Yoruba will say, Amuwa long lele. They didn't plan it this way. He himself, he did not know. You understand? Your anchor in Christ, right, will help you. And the next thing we are thinking of, can we adopt?
We'll come to that details. We are still looking at what are those pressure. How would expectation in marriage generate now into pressure? Now I come with some, we have looked at child issue coming in, maybe not having the children as expected, delay in having children. And there's a very particular one now that is, the main finances. Of course, it's expected to have money, it's expected for you to be able to take care of your basic needs. But at what point will now become a pressure?
I'm privileged to be a pastor in the Redeemed Christian Church of God. So I'll go from the angle of your support. Having God is a support system. Having people who have been there before is another support system. And you also have friends that are strong in character. They are support systems. So you find out that when you are going into marriage, you must have your support system, because marriage will come with its surprises. So it's always good when we talk about negative pressures. There are positive pressures. You happen to be a girl coming from the village, and you enter into marriage, and you find out that the man you got married to hits it heavily. And because he hits it heavily, you have to meet up that positive pressure of being a multi-billionaire's wife. That's a lot of pressure.
It is.
And you don't know how to go ahead and manage it. So if you don't know how to go ahead and manage it, you have to quickly go to your support system. I want to use the Bible now. It says, guard your heart with all diligence, for out of them are the issues of life.
Okay, viewers, we are still on the Family Moment show. This time we are looking at handling marital pressure. Shortly after this break, we are going to be doing some more exposition on this topic. Don't go away, we'll be back shortly.
Audio Jungle.
Welcome back from that short break, viewers. It's still your favorite Family Moment show, keeping us together. And in the studio today, we have Mrs. Abimbola Adeleye, a clergy of God, an assistant pastor in the Redeemed Christian Church of God. And we still have Mr. Femi Durojaye, your popular Nollywood face. He's still here in the studio. We've been looking at handling marital pressure. We've looked at marital pressure. We've looked at financial pressures. We've looked at delay in childbearing that can mount pressure. Of course, we've agreed that these are normal expectations, but at a point when it's not being met, it becomes a pressure. Now we're looking at triggers. Sometimes they are normal expectations, but it becomes a pressure because some things actually triggers it. When we talk about finances, there's a certain level we are supposed to be at a particular time. Like you said earlier, Ma, that there are different stages in this marriage we are talking about. And I believe as a person that if you learn to walk at your pace, you will avoid pressure. Yeah, if you learn to walk at your pace, you will avoid pressure. And if we can imbibe contentment, we will also avoid pressure. Am I right?
Yes, partly you are right. You see, it depends on your partner. Some men, the money they have that they want to rock their life with can only buy a Volkswagen. If you marry the wife that you are not supposed to marry, all she wants to ride is a Rolls Royce.
A Rolls Royce.
There's going to be problem.
Pressure.
Of course, there's
Romance.
Exactly. So, and you see, if there's no contentment on either parties, on either side, maybe the expectation of the wife is higher than what the man can provide. The expectation of the man is not what the woman can provide. It can break the marriage. They begin to seek for solace outside. So, as I said, these things happen before you marry. Who is this person you are marrying? Because people that marry, they are usually young people. You understand? They do not know, they don't have an idea, the totality of what they are going into. And therefore, there are some things, right, that are important that they know they should do, which is within their age bracket to do. And I said the number one thing is that you must love the person. Do not marry anyone because your pastor says so. Do not marry anybody because your mother says so. Marry this person because you love each other. Because
but
when
they can say so and you end up loving the person,
you see, you are taking a chance. You
which
might
may
not love the person.
always work out well.
Yes, but start from the one you know I love this
And
woman.
work towards the unknown.
And this girl say, this guy, if I don't marry this guy, make I die. You are starting well. You have gotten important factors right.
Don't you think there could be some other things influencing such utterances that are not real?
No, you see, God has wired a man and a woman to like each other for the purpose.
To like each other.
No. To fall in love, like each other, is for the purpose of procreation. A man is not attracted to a dog naturally. A man is attracted to a woman. A woman is not attracted to a fowl. It's attracted to a man. It's God's design. To those who do not believe in God, it's a natural design that the opposite sex will desire each other. A man will desire a woman will desire a man. It's a normal, it's natural.
Normal
you understand?
arrangement.
So what is natural, at least do. Don't marry because it's rich. Don't marry because, let me just pity this woman and marry her. You will regret it. Because when the woman begin to remove hand and show you in marriage, you will cry. Then why did I didn't want to marry this woman. I just say make her pity her. So it is important that when you are starting, they say put a round peg in a round hole. You can do that at any age that you decide to get married. So it's a plus factor. Now, when you now marry and, for example, there are problems. Now, a wife wants to live in Canada. A man says, look, I love this country. This is where the money is. There's pressure in that marriage. Because the nature of women is to get what they want. You understand? I laugh at men who say I'm the head of the house. I just laugh. See, you are the head of the house, but your wife is your neck that turns it.
Okay, your wife is your neck that turns it.
Yes.
Okay, now coming to the wife that's the neck that turns it. What do you have to say about pressure that is ignited by friends, acquaintances?
That's exactly what I'm trying to put. Societal influence is a reality.
It is.
Most of us get married because of the societal pressure we face. When you get to the age of 20-something, once you are hitting 24, I don't want to mention 24 because sometimes in some societies it may be the age of 13. In some parts of the country, for a woman, the society starts expecting you to be out of that house. And then you are telling yourself, I have to get married. And you have different suitors. So definitely you are pushed. That is a trigger into getting married early. Or getting married to somebody who you really do not like.
Intend to.
And many women, we do it. I'm a woman and I'm privileged to speak as an authority in that we do it. So you are a man, so maybe you like us and then you marry us. But we marry what we feel at this point in time, I better make this decision. So that already has put you under a natural pressure for life. And you are ready to go about it. That's why I keep on pushing. Marriage is not really about, oh, I love this person. It's about, I am determined to have a lifetime of success. And marriage is part of my achievements. So when you know how to manage that pressure that has been triggered on you by the society, you will succeed. Then you are talking about the financial part of it. And, okay, it's good. I want to travel abroad. You got married to me. And then you say you want to stay in Nigeria because you are a popular figure. I don't care about that. I just want to go and hide myself in one place where I'll be living a normal life.
So how will both of you now move? How will both of you work together? You want to stay in Canada, I want to stay in Nigeria, and we want to remain married.
See, the thing is, young people, as I said, they don't have all the picture. Nobody does. When you are young, when you are going into marriage, nobody does, right? But just get some fundamentals right.
Thank you.
The first fundamental is that you love your wife and your wife loves you. If there are issues, because people change in the course of marriage, the issue of maybe I want to travel abroad, no, I want to stay here. One, because you love each other, right? You can sit down and talk about it. Okay, babe, what do we do?
Let me come in there. We have three options.
Okay.
We have the option of you staying. I'm talking about practical options, people I have seen.
Okay.
I have a friend. The husband moves around the globe on IT business. The wife is based in Nigeria. We have the second option of all of us moving. We have the third option of us both shuttling. Okay, let's just keep on having a feel of this country. When I got married, I was like, I have lived outside the country before, so I just knew that it was part of my life. And for my husband, it doesn't really shock him. So he realized that this woman wants to. So what he decided to do is, he said, okay, he just suddenly called me one day. Said, take your passport, you are traveling next week. I said, traveling next week? Is that how I should travel? He said, I have known you wanted to travel all the while. I can afford it. Just go and have some time there. I was one that called him and said, I'm tired. I want to come back home. And he has achieved. At least she has gone to have a feel of it on her own. Before it was with my parents. But now, as a mother, as a woman, I have gone to experience it.
Why did daddy do that?
Because he loves.
Because he loves you.
And he
It
wants
is the
the
person
best
that
for
loves you that will sit you, that will tell you, okay, go and have fun.
It can
Go
also
and-
be because he's determined not to allow me to destroy his business in Lagos.
You see, determination. Men, you see, men are known. Men are simple people.
Really?
Women-
Men
we
are
don't get-
simpler.
Women are simpler.
Men don't get too much wahala.
You think
If you
so?
marry a man that loves you, and if you love that man,
If you marry the man that
you-
loves you.
yes.
But what is the love we're talking about? Me, I define love by actions.
Thank you.
I define love by action. That is why I will say it over and over again. I do not believe in that love at first sight. You don't know what it is that you saw at that first sight. It is when you
are
go into
speaking
the
as a
beginning.
woman.
Yes, because
Well,
you
there
won't
are
tell
some
me.
girls you will see. Excuse
Well,
me, ma.
yes,
you will
sir.
fall in love.
That
now.
is-
No, it's not. That's the
Love
fall
is
in
not
love.
first
You will
sight.
fall yakata.
No. That is not love.
If I don't marry this girl, I
The
will
way
die.
you will know is the love is when you are now going. It's a journey.
It's a
It
journey.
is the things
But
you begin to do
You see,
that will show
I-
if you actually love
You see,
or not.
The first thing you see, right, is the face.
You
is the
can
body.
like.
Yeah.
You
no.
like what you saw that
Exactly.
time, which can even change, which is not even permanent.
Which
Eh,
it
wait,
is not
wait.
can even change.
Wait.
It will change.
Because see, we know that the beauty of a woman gradually fades.
Any man too.
But the same thing for a man. But if you see a woman that is fine from the beginning,
Yeah.
even when she's in her 60s, she's still a chick, at least to her husband.
That is if you spend
Person
good
wey
money.
fine don't fine.
Uncle Fem, that is if you spend money on that chick.
Eh.
If you
And
have a
that
very
is
wonderful wife,
if the
Yes.
man has nurtured that love to that
You
point,
nurture
that's why
the
she will
love.
remain a chick to him.
Exactly.
You see?
Else,
You
you will
see?
begin to
else
see.
you become a hen, stressed out of all the pressures of marriage.
You see, marriage is between two people. You understand? Assumingly, two people in love. The Bible says, the wife of your youth, let your breast satisfy you. It's talking to the man. Let
Her breast satisfy you always.
You understand? If you like, go choose the person where you not like, go marry her. You will not even be looking at the so-called buso. You understand? So it's important.
So
make
now-
sure again that the person you marry is somebody that now they craze together. You know
Una
what
dey-
I mean
and
is
you can come
like
together.
you like the same things. Where you are going is coterminous.
That
What you want
will
out
help
of
to
life-
manage. That will help to reduce
That
the
will
pressure.
help.
Exactly,
That will
it will seriously help because when the crisis come, you see, my friend, sit down, make me talk, babe, let's sit down, let's talk. The reason why it might not be the man that calls the meeting, it might be the wife, because you see, two of you are permanently on the same page. You understand? You don't have to do anything extra because first, fundamentally, you love this person.
Okay, yeah, so much on that.
On love.
Then are pressure controllable? Can you control pressures?
Yes and no. That's why I build on the principles of marriage. Marriage is based on some principles. You know the personality of your person. You know the person's temperaments. You know the person's love languages. The Bible says to men, go and deal with women according to understanding.
True.
So you must study. When you can't come into the first phase of your marriage, marriage is usually 3 phases. The phase of the honeymoon. The second phase is the reality phase. And then the last one is the depression phase. That's when you now decide you're either going depressed or it's my marriage, I just continue. Or I can't do this again. So in those phases, when you're in the honeymoon phase, if you're a wise person, start to study your spouse. Because once we have finished that, I don't want to call it deception phase. No, the before marriage phase.
The courtship.
The courtship. When you are out of the ship and now you are living in the society that is the sea, before you drown, study the person you are holding their hand. Because if you don't know the temperament of that person, you will drown.
True.
If you don't know the love language of that person, you will drown.
True.
If you don't know the spiritual strength of that person, sometimes we think that we're married to a spiritual giant. Then you get married, you now realize that the person did that was a giant because I must marry before I'm 26. So let me kukuma finish myself. So we have to be very, very alert. I agree that you must know your spouse before you get married. But it's very difficult to be sure you know anybody, even in the beginning of marriage. When you have understood the person that is in the honeymoon stage, then you start to apply those factors. If you don't apply those factors, you will continue to have problems in your marriage.
You see, for a woman, you see, women are usually smarter than men.
Really?
In the
You acknowledge that?
Yeah, it is true.
You acknowledge that?
It is true.
Thank you.
2 trailers will be coming. You see, naturally, men are reckless. 2 trailers will be coming. The guy will gauge, okay, I can quickly cross. A woman won't do it too. A woman will allow the trailers. I beg, men are pass. She will look very well before she crosses. But a man feels nothing they happen. Our senses of danger, our antenna for danger is not as sharpened as that of a woman. And in things of the heart, women are far ahead of men. Far ahead. When a 16-year-old boy and a 16-year-old girl, they are not mates. The 16-year-old girl is
what the 16-year-old girl is processing.
Exactly.
What she's processing is that in her head. Don't
20
go there.
years older than
Don't go there. Don't go there.
That's what I'm saying. You see, when it comes to marriage, men, from what he had said, men get to know their women late. Yes, they don't really know women until much later in life.
And why?
Because
you see, they are wired differently. A woman will study. Women are intelligent. A woman will study the person she wants to marry. I told my sons, 2 of them are married now.
Wow.
I said, guys, understand something, because I spoke from my own experience. When you are dating a girl, to you have a girlfriend. To the girl, she's checking you out whether you are a potential husband. Your thought processes are different. You understand? So don't go and promise a woman just carelessly that you want to marry her. She will take it to her too. Don't say it.
There's no carelessness with a woman.
No, not carelessness. At least not in that area. You understand? So a woman is thinking differently from a man. Right? There are some things that will be too controversial for me to say here. You know, I will just let it pass when it comes to men and women and how they see some certain things.
And I want to help you out on this part. There is something that my husband used to say to any boy or young man that comes across him. He says, be careful. He says, once a woman wants to marry you, she will marry you.
Exactly.
So I agree with you that we are very it doesn't matter if she's fashionable. It doesn't matter if she's rich. It doesn't matter if she's exposed. Once she knows this is the man I want, and you have mistakenly crossed her path a bit more than the high level, she will get you.
And
I agree.
if she wants you to succeed, you will succeed.
It's true.
That's why they say behind a successful man is a
If she
woman.
wants you to succeed, you will succeed.
You know what the Bible says? That's why I don't give women any excuse. It's true. The Bible says a wise woman builds up her home.
Thank you.
And a foolish woman destroys it. You are the head of the family, you are the man, but you are not in charge of your home. If your wife wants that home to be peaceful, you will have peace. If your wife wants that marriage to be dissolved and upside down, that is what will happen.
So now, what do we have to say about existing pressures in marriages? What from your own experience, what was your take? How would you advise, existing couples with pressure as is existing already? The pressure is already there. It could be financial pressure. It could be in any form. It could be the society mounting pressure on them because expectations are not being met. From your own over 25 years experience, what would be your advice? How would they handle such pressures?
Number one, I had a wife who was a banker. She's never at home. Before the children weeks is off, you understand? Yeah. I was self-employed, and therefore, the onus fell on me to be a house husband.
House husband.
Do you understand?
Yeah.
Out of compulsion or
out of
making it work.
Out of making it work. You understand? This was a woman I loved.
Wow.
You understand? And I'm her number one fan. She has to succeed, in what she was doing. So I will take the children to school.
Wow.
You understand? I will beat the children. I will take the children to school. I wash their clothes. I will feed them. I taught my children how to take their baths.
Wow.
You understand? So there was a role reversal.
Role reversal.
Exactly.
With all the attendance pressure that
exactly.
Come with
So I had to do what a woman does. Because
what we think a woman should do, not as if it is tagged to
exactly.
What we think. It should not be tagged to anybody.
Exactly.
At that particular time, that was what you needed
to do
for your home to succeed.
To succeed. If I said no, what's all this? Then you say eventually
the pressure will escalate.
We escalate, But now when I said, okay, can we have a house help? So that from time to time I will come in
at least a helping hand, so
doing,
you too.
So that I can have time to also do my business. Because I have to do my
your
own business. There was a particular incident that really broke my heart, right?
Wow.
And it's because of our timing. You understand? Somebody needed to take my one of my children to the hospital.
Wow.
You understand? And as an actor, right, I had this very important role I've been looking for. It's a career-changing role. On the day of the shoot, my wife was not available to do it, to take that child to the hospital.
And this is your child we are talking about.
My first son.
Life.
I had to take him. I not only lost that role, because it was the day of the shoot
that it happened.
You understand? That it happened. I lost the favor of the director. He never worked with me again. And
It
I was
a
playing
big disappointment.
very important role in that movie. If I were the director too, I would never forgive that person. Because everything has been set for me. It was me that is the character.
The main character.
No, not the main character. The character that can play that role effectively. There was a casting. There was an audition. You understand? The moment I walked in, the director said, that is the character I'm looking for. And then you don't show up on the day of the shoot. It pained me a lot. But you see, those are the sacrifices I had to make to keep the family going. It was a career-defining moment. It was very early in my career, and I needed that role. My face would have been in all the posters in Lagos. That's when they used to use posters. Those things happen. But because of my love for my wife,
your love conquered the pressure.
Exactly. It has those challenges.
And it was sacrificial love.
Sacrificial. You have to.
But you could have asked her to stay back instead of you.
For her to stay back and do it.
Yeah.
If she chooses not to, and she says she's not available, what do you do? I have to take my son to the hospital. You see, my job is important, but the life of my son comes first. I've taken so many sacrifices for that boy. I see him, he's married now.
Wow.
When I look at him and smile, he doesn't know why I smile at him. I always look at this boy. So much has happened. It was my first project.
It took sacrifice,
sacrificial
sacrificial love to handle some of those pressures when they come.
You have to sacrifice.
And Mabimbo, how about that?
Really, when I like the experience he had. It's but you can read financial, you can read children, you can also read societal expectations. In my own case, the life experiences I can mention when we started marriage, I believed you spend, he spent. And my husband happened to be a financial person too, so I was impressed. He said the banker, he has worked in the bank, he has worked in financial institutions, and he believes in accountability. It's not about need. You must account for every need that you invest in. It has to be justified. It has to be justified.
It's not wicked.
So that is your view, but everybody is expecting mommy to perform. And daddy is saying, whatever has to go out in this house, I agree, but it must be accounted for.
Yes.
And I've really had to tell many of my young friends, you better dance the dance I dance. Because what we now got to resolve that, briefly, just to make it brief, is when I have expenses, I send him, we have purchased the following. I have my limits. He decided we set limits on how much we should give. I said I'm a pastor in Trinity House. I found out that in the church, when the pastor finishes, or maybe I'm under administration, I'm ready to give all the offering. I give according to intuition. But he gives according to decision. He has told himself. So he told me, see, your thank you for your holiness. Your offering is so. He now can give to any amount, but mine is pegged. So that both of us don't get home to see that
everything is gone.
So everything is gone. So once he does that, he texts me, I text him. He'll be outside, I say, yes, I've made some investment, I bought. From the tune of, we have a limit we can spend without the other party's view. And we have a limit
that
we must come to agreement with. And that has given us a bit of peace. Then the one of the children, I'm privileged to, even with my size, you should know that God gave me boys. I have 3 hefty teenagers in my house. 1 pre-teenager and 2 teenagers.
Full-blown teenagers.
So I doff my cap. Respect, sir. Yeah, with married men. But mine are not yet married. And the teenage character started evolving after some time. And then I saw that my sanguine was very loving and was taking over the love of my husband. And later I flowed though, because my husband is a choleric. So it was like, wow. I said, hey, God has answered my prayer. Now I have somebody that will show me what we know. Then the flag also came in, and he wants peace. He wants things to be done. Mommy, I just want peace. I want peace. And then the pre-teen, that one is the biggest strategist. That one has mixed his own choleric with, I think he's more of a sanguine and choleric. So he's like, Daddy, this is how we're going to do. Mommy, don't mind Daddy, make this decision. So what I now did, I told myself, so my husband and I started having clashes.
Wow.
So the pressures became much. And then sort of, this marriage, I beg you, please, my sanguine will come and hold me and say, Mommy, take it easy. And he's like, he did not remember to do that. And then he's like, so at the point in time, we now discovered the secret to our solution, which we are still discovering, because marriage pressures don't end.
Yeah, you just learn to manage them.
In the night, when all of those characters are asleep, the 2 original owners of themselves will now bring those issues. You did not touch
it
me.
Your own way.
You did, will now touch your way. I know you are. This is your character. Well, he said they'll be helping me, so he leaves that sanguine to take care of me. Then okay, sweetheart, what do you think we should do about Paul's view about this? What do you think we should do about Judah's view about this? What do you think we should do about King David's view about this? So when we finish it, we can now go and sleep. So by the next day, we are new. So they have now, the children to now say, the 2 of you, they see the connection. They don't understand.
They didn't know where you have gone to settle it. They don't have to know. They were not there from the beginning, so
we have to find a way of putting them on one side though before they come and kukuma, and then they'll go and marry their wives.
Yes, so they should not come and spoil what they were not at the beginning for.
Then I'll be alone with my
sister. So viewers, it's been a wonderful time on this episode, handling marital pressure. And we are saying where there are pressures, 2 things can help out. There should be room for compromises. There should be room for sacrifices, like we heard from Uncle Femi. There are sometimes you have to do certain things sacrificial. And there should be room for dialogues too. We don't just leave everything hanging. You don't just leave it one-sided. There are times when you have to come and dialogue. And when you leave the dialogue box open, then those pressures can be managed. They can be minimized. And as much as possible, those that we can control coming from external factors, we know there are pressures that will come from families, from friends, even from your job. Even from your job, from your career is not working, you are under pressure. We must learn to put them under control as much as possible, not to affect our homes. We may not have control over what happens, but we have control over what we choose to do with what happens around us. So it's been a wonderful time, and thank you very much, Uncle Femi, for being on this show. And thank you, Bimbo, for honoring the family moment request to be here. And viewers, I know you've enjoyed today's episode. More episode loading. Don't forget to visit all our social media handles for life transforming episode you would never want to miss. See you again, same time on this same station. Thank you.